What's going on, team? Brian Maxwell. And we're getting off to the start of the week. And hopefully you had a really good sales week last week. I hope you had a really good weekend selling at the dealerships on Saturday. Now, a quick recap of last week's training. We had some excellent sessions. I really enjoyed it. The information that was shared, we had a number of people that went out and actually were able to apply what it is that they picked up. And one thing that I want to share, and just know that this video, this here is being shared by people at every store and management. And everyone knows what it is that we're doing, our objectives, which is to get better and to make more money. And hopefully no one listening to this has any objectives with being able to help more customers make buying decisions and being able to put more money in your pocket and helping the company be able to elevate, escalate, and begin to be ranked in the region and in the nation for the performance that you're putting on. So with that being said, we have a lot of very talented people. And I will say that the top performers at every dealership were the main ones that were coming and asking for information. The management team have been exceptionally into the information being shared, want to know what's going on. I.e., that's why many of them moved into management. So as we go through these training sessions, just know, not only will I be sharing information, but there will be questions at the end that will require your feedback. And this feedback will be stored and the data will be shared. So let's benefit from this. Let's go through them. Let's pay attention to them. They'll all be very short, but they'll be very impactful. All right. So this video, this training session here, what it is that I want to talk about are really the 6 principles to help more people buy from you. There are 6 principles. There are 6 things that motivate people to buy from us. All right. And before we get into those, seeing as again, this is the beginning of the week. One thing I want to ask you is, what goals have you set for this week? I know you've got your monthly goals, and most dealerships do that. But the most successful ones that I deal with, that I've seen, and that I interact with are the ones whose sales staff, yes, they have their monthly goals. But in order for you to attain that monthly goal, you want to reduce it a little bit and create yourself that weekly goal. And from that weekly goal, set your daily goal. See, when we don't have any clear objectives for when we go into the dealership, that's kind of when we have those moments where it seems like there's nothing going on, it's boring, there's no traffic coming. And listen, I'll be the first one to tell you, my first year in the business, I sucked. I would be complaining about no traffic, complaining about being there on Saturday, all of that stuff, because I still looked at it from an employee's perspective. But when I was educated a little bit more and I was enlightened to how it is not an employee position, that each and every one of you, each and every one of us are entrepreneurs, and we're running a business within a business. And those customers, those clients that we interact with, those people that we convert to clients, that becomes your book of business. Now, yes, they do business with Step One Automotive, but when they interact with you, you are the representative of Step One Automotive. So it is your business within a business. And the way to be consistent and to stay motivated, you've got to see it like that. Understand this. That building was built, we didn't have to pay a dime. That inventory, when dealerships get inventory, for whatever dollar amount, if they want $60 million worth of inventory on the lot, typically they're asked to put up 1/6 of that in cash. Guess what? The lot is full without us putting up $1. Any of the advertisements that are on television, that are on radio, that are on the internet, we didn't have to pay for production. We didn't have to pay for editing. We didn't have to pay for the time that it went out there on the media outlets. But guess what? We get a chance to benefit from them. There's even a staff that's paid to process our paperwork and to get things done for us. All right, so there's a whole lot going on that all we need to do is sometimes step back and look at it and say, man, I've got all the pieces in place that any other business owner would need to have in order to successfully run their business. And the only thing that we have to work on ourselves is making sure that our process is consistent, meaning during our process, the only 3 things should change is what I call the triple P's. And that is the person, the product, and the price. But the process that we go through, the word tracks and things that we use should be consistent across the board. Again, we can't track what we can't measure. And if we're doing something so different with every person, we'll never be able to figure out what it is that works. All right. So making sure that to stay consistent, that we track it. So A clear thing is making sure we have our objectives, we setting our goals, that we have some direction when we come in. So what is your clear-cut objective for the week? What is your goals? What is it that you plan on achieving? That's number one. So I want you to be able to send that to me and set one that stretches you a little bit further than the most you've ever sold in a week, stretches you a little bit further than you've ever sold, but it's also in realistic striking distance that you can believe it. That's number one. All right. And then ask yourself, what are you willing to sacrifice this week, just this week, to help you attain that? And when I say sacrifice, meaning, are you willing to maybe sacrifice leaving the building to go out for lunch and utilize maybe bringing your lunch and standing there seeing if you can make a couple more phone calls, maybe send out a couple more messages through social media, maybe catch an additional up? Are you willing to sacrifice maybe 30 minutes during the evening time to read something or watch a video to increase and improve your skills? Are you willing to sacrifice sleeping that extra 30 minutes to get up, to maybe read, to maybe jog, to maybe walk, to meditate, to whatever it is to help put you in a much better mind state and a better zone as we attack the week? So let's make sure that we think about that first and foremost. What is it? We got to be willing to give in order to get. And you all know I get hype, I get amped up about it, but you know, if you see anything of any of the information that's online, if you read any of the books that are available, or if you sat through any of the sessions, then you know that I genuinely believe in this business. And it's opened more doors for men and women than anything else that I've seen in my life. And many times people sit at their jobs and they wish and they dream for an opportunity to make more money and to be free and not to be tethered to a phone or stuck in a cubicle. And then when we get the opportunity, but we realize that it requires us to really think and be independent thinkers and to hold ourselves accountable, that can be challenging for people. Luckily for us, the people that I met at the dealerships across the board throughout Crestview, Niceville, and Fort Walton Beach, all of you are more than capable. You the one sitting there listening to this, all of you highly intelligent people who I know see value in increasing your skill set. So what is it that we're willing to sacrifice? What is your why? What is that thing that's going to keep you motivated? That thing that's going to get you in there and that's going to hold you accountable. So let's make sure we set that. So I'd like for you to send me what it is, your weekly goal, and what it is that you're willing to sacrifice to get that. So I want those things, I need that sent over so we can begin to work on that. It's only beneficial for you. If you had to be mad at me, but you make $10,000 every month, or you make $6,000 every month, and you're making more money than you ever did before, but you dislike what it is that we're doing and it's aggravating, but you're making more money than you ever had before, then I'm all with it. I'd much rather that than you think I was a stand-up guy and you not see any improvements in your performance and in your finances. Then shame on me. All right, so that's first off. But let's get into these 6 principles that help more people buy from you. All right, the 6 principles are these. Now, every single person, even though we may be different externally, on the inside, we are more similar than we are different. And you have to know that there have been studies upon studies going on about what it is that motivates us to buy. Why do we do what we do? Governments worldwide, including ours, have been studying this stuff since World War II. And it's been chiseled down to a science. And selling is more psychological than it is anything else, because you must know that people buy 90% based off emotion and back it up with 10% logic. This is why you ever had that customer that you're sitting there and you're telling them all of the technical features and all the safety features and all of these great things, but they look at you like Charlie Brown's teacher was talking to him. Wah, 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 wah. They don't understand. Why? Because the logical reasons that you are giving them to buy, they're boring. That doesn't get anybody excited. You have to know that. You know, we don't buy, human beings, we don't think logically. Think about it. If we did, we wouldn't eat meat. We wouldn't drink pop. We wouldn't eat fried foods. Nobody would smoke. Nobody would drink alcohol. But man, that steak with that A1 sauce and that potato sure does taste good. But the reason why I eat it is because it has good protein. So my emotional reason would be, man, that steak looks awesome. Love it with the A1 sauce. Looks like it tastes so good. But my logical reasons I'd give to somebody for me eating this 22-ounce steak with 2 baked potatoes would be because of the high levels of protein, and that's good carbs. You know, so a person goes out and buys a $100,000 Porsche, knowing that really it's a $100,000 Porsche. You don't have to have that to survive. But they go get it, man. They got to get it, makes them look good, makes them look like they represent something. But, and then the logical reason would be just the well-built design and blah, blah, blah. Whatever just logical reason they give that would justify their emotional purchase. So when we're talking to our customers, we have to begin to understand what it is that makes them tick. The more that we can connect with them emotionally and we can give them the logical information to help reinforce their buying decision, the more success we'll have. And I'll repeat that. The better connected we can get with them on an emotional level, the easier it is for them to buy when we give them the logical information to help reinforce it. So if a lady's coming in looking to buy a minivan that takes care of her mother, and she drives her mother back and forth to Mobile, Alabama from Fort Walton Beach, because Mobile has the best diabetes treatment center in the South. And so they drive back and forth there once every 2 weeks. Now the mother has diabetes and she's on dialysis. And the lady's in the dealership looking for a new minivan. And the story that she tells us is that the last time she was taking her mother down for treatment, the minivan that she was driving in broke down on the side of the road. And her mother missed her diabetic appointment, which triggered a dialysis reaction, and her mother almost passes away on the side of the highway. So when this lady comes into the dealership, if I ask you what is her buying motive, when I ask most salespeople what is her buying motive, they'll say something reliable, safety, all of these things, which are right. Those are very right, logical answers. But in reality, the emotional reason of why she's in the dealership looking for another vehicle is because she wants to keep her mother alive as long as she possibly can. Because think about it, if her mother didn't almost die, she could have called that backyard mechanic she knows in her neighborhood to do a quick patch job, so she didn't have to worry about maybe picking up an additional note. But seeing as her mother, somebody that she loves dearly on this planet, almost passed away, she's not willing to take that risk. Therefore, she's got to come in and get something. So if while you're talking to that woman, when you're showing her maybe a vehicle at your store that fits that situation, that could solve that problem, and maybe, hey, listen, if I understand you correctly, and I believe that I do, we want to make sure that we get something so you can get mom to and from those appointments safely. We want to keep her here as long as we can, don't we? This is way I'm letting her know, look, I fully understand. And I'm also reminding her, or should I say, I'm sharing with her that I totally understand the emotional reason, which is why we want to get something reliable and safe to get mom to and from those appointments. So we have to learn that when we're talking with our customers to look for a reason within a reason. But there are 6 principles that motivate us to buy, motivate people to buy. 1 is reciprocity. Number 2 is commitment and consistency. Number 3 is social proof. Number 4 is authority. Number 5 is liking. And number 6 is scarcity. So I'm going to go through these real quick, go through these fairly briefly. Now, reciprocity, what is that? To reciprocate. Now, what that is the practice of exchanging things with someone else for mutual benefit. And let me give you an example of how reciprocity is used in a business situation and at your dealership. When you when you first introduce yourself to someone and you say, hey, welcome to Chrysler Jeep Dodge of Fort Walton Beach, or Kia of Fort Walton Beach, or Chrysler Jeep Dodge of Crestview, or Performance Cars of Niceville, or VW Superview of Fort Walton Beach. When you go out there and you welcome them and you say, my name is, and you are, my name is Brian and you are, that immediate act of welcoming them, giving them your name, makes it easier for them to reciprocate and give you theirs. You have to realize that anything that you would like to get from the customers or the people you deal with, you have to be willing to give it first. Reciprocity is one of the 6 psychological triggering tools that is very powerful in influence, which is the same thing, which is why when you when you bring a person inside to sit them down, before you sit them down and just start drilling them, asking them questions, and especially personal ones, money and credit and these type of things like that, the very first thing we should do, utilizing that one of the 6 triggers, is offering them some coffee or water. The more things that we can give to our guests when we bring them inside and we sitting them down, when it's time for them to give us what it is that we need, it makes it a lot easier. So we must learn how to reciprocate. So we're sitting down, it's like, if we want someone to listen to us, we have to be willing to listen to them. And one of the best ways for you to be able to listen more than you talk is to learn how to ask the right questions. There's a phrase, good salespeople practice what to say, great ones practice what to ask. If you're finding yourself doing most of the talking, then you're losing. We should be doing all of the asking. They should be doing all of the talking. The top producing salespeople ask far more questions than statements that they make. Okay? So what are some of the methods that we use for reciprocity? Offering them coffee, offering them water, giving them our undivided attention, giving them respect, doing our best to give them the best experience possible. Listen, buying a vehicle don't have to be painful. Matter of fact, it should be painless, but it's got to be entertaining. We've got to make it be enjoyable for these people when they come into our spot. Okay, we want to make sure it's as fun as possible. So give them a good experience, giving them a tour of the dealership when we bring them back in from a demo drive, introducing them to the service advisor. Hey, listen, let me take you back into the service department where you bring your vehicle in on your scheduled appointment days. Now you're taking them back. You haven't sat down and went over any solid numbers. You're coming back off a demo drive, but you're showing them, let me show you where you bring your vehicle in on your scheduled appointment days for your service appointments. Come on back here. Why not? Everything that we can give, it makes it a lot easier when we tend to ask them for things. So reciprocity. Let's go over commitment and consistency. Commitment and consistency. The way that we use that within our process is this. With close-in questions. With close-in questions, we begin to gain commitment. Now, when we ask a close-in question, we only ask the close-in question where the logical response is yes, which is another word for commitment, is also called an upfront contract. All right. So we get this by asking different things as we go through the process, where let's just say something you may ask earlier and say, hey, listen, all things be aligned. Are you able to find something that solves whatever transportation problem you're having and fits the budget that you're trying to stay within? Are you all, you guys looking to drive something home today? Or if I can go give them my manager and they approve what it is that we're talking about, what it is that you'd like to see happen here. Am I able to earn your business? Can I earn your business? Doing things to get commitments. But let's just say earlier on in the process, when we go through and we're asking them different questions as we go through, that the logical response is yes. So let's just give an example of when we're giving a presentation, which is really one of the best moments for us to do this, because when we're sitting down qualifying, it's all about us finding out information from them, asking questions and whatnot. Now, when we go out and based on the information they provided us, we present them with the solution that best fits, depending on what you and your manager put together for them. You're going out there showing it to them. All right. And let's just say you are going over the permaplate protection that's on the vehicle. And you may say something, and listen, I'm pretty sure if you're making an investment in a vehicle as nice as this, you want to keep it looking as good as you can for as long as you can, right? Now, the only logical response to that is yes. What they going to say? No, I want to have it scratched up and messed up as quick as I can. No, that doesn't make any sense. Or when you're going over the safety feature, you may say, and listen, if you, your wife, your kids are going to be riding in this vehicle, I'm pretty sure you want to make sure that everybody gets to and from their destination in one piece and as safely as possible, don't you? These are the things you want to touch on. I mean, the rear dash cam, I'm pretty sure it's extremely important that you have as many notification and precautionary tools as possible to make sure you don't end up rear-ending another vehicle or damaging the back end of your vehicle, isn't it? These type of questions that get this person saying yes. These are commitments. Now, the consistency part comes in as you take your customer throughout the process. The more times you can get them to say yes, it increases the likelihood of them saying yes at the end, because the brain loves consistency. The brain loves consistency. The brain loves consistency. So as you can go through, and if you don't already have your process, and I know I've given out worksheets and we've gone through a process, and so and everybody has to fine tune it to themselves, but making sure we keep the premise, meaning the desired outcome at each step, the same. So you should have, as you go through your process, different checkpoints where you're asking questions to get small yes commitments as you go through. So when it's after you've shown the vehicle and you're sitting them down and you're talking to them, we make it as easy as possible for them to make that smart, say, buying decision and do business with us. Okay, so commitment and consistency. It is getting them to commit with small yeses as many times as possible throughout the process. Number 3 is social proof. Okay, now what is social proof? Social proof is how others in a similar situation have benefited from working with you and or buying from your dealership. Now, an easy way to do this is, let's just say someone comes in and they're looking, you're showing them a specific vehicle, and you're going through a particular portion of the vehicle or a feature. You know what? One of the features that a lot of our customers that have came in and drove home in this particular vehicle say that they really like is the fact that these side mirrors have turn signal lights, blah, 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 or the blind indicator. Or another way for you to be able to utilize social proof is understanding the feel, felt, found method, which is, I totally understand how you feel. Many others have felt the exact same way, but when they found out, they felt, or they were, okay? It's the feel, felt, found. Every customer feels far more comfortable when they know that someone else in a similar situation to them have been able to do business with you. So we have to learn how to share that with our customers. If they're feeling a little apprehensive, there's nothing wrong to say, hey, listen, ma'am, sir, I totally understand how you feel. I've had a lot of customers that came in that were in a similar situation like you. They knew that they wanted to do something about their current situation. And they knew that they were in the position that they could do it, but they just weren't quite sure if they were ready to pull the trigger. But when they found out that, actually getting a new vehicle brought them far more value and benefits than the monthly obligation that they was going to be putting out, they felt a lot more comfortable moving forward. Learn how to share with your customers how others in a similar situation have felt just like them. You understand how they feel first off. So look, I totally understand how you feel. As a matter of fact, I've had several customers that have come in and felt exactly like you. They knew they needed to do something, they wanted to do something, but they just weren't quite sure if they were ready to do that, if they were in a position to do it. But when they found out that actually they could, it was far more beneficial and they got much more in value from the vehicle and much more bang from their buck by getting a new vehicle than they did keeping their old one, they felt a lot more comfortable. They found themselves a lot more comfortable moving forward. So you just have to learn how to share social proof. That's one of the 6 powers of influence. Number 4 is authority. Now, what does authority mean? Let's think about authority. When you go into Best Buy, you walk into Best Buy and they always have somebody standing by the front and they got the shirt on. You walk to this person and say, hey, listen, where do you all keep your laptops? And they say, I'm not quite sure. I think they're somewhere in the back. What is the first thing that comes to most people's mind? What's the first thing that comes to our mind? Good grief, what the heck you standing up here in the front? You're no good to me. You're useless. We get borderline aggravated. Now, we don't know if that person just started that day, if that's their first week. We don't know at all. All we know is they have on the shirt, they're inside the building, so we immediately saw them as an authority. And then once they opened their mouth and showed us or told us that they're not, by their lack of understanding, then we lost all type of credibility for them. We lost respect for them in a way. Okay, so think about it. When a customer comes into our dealerships, they don't know whether you've only been there a day, a week, a year, 10 years, 20 years. All they know is you have on the shirt, you're inside the store, you obviously look like you're a member of the team. And they view us as an authority until we give our authority away many times by us saying the wrong thing or failing to ask the right thing. We show that we're not the authority. Now, people respect authority figures. Think about ourselves. Throughout our childhood, we've been taught to respect authority. Matter of fact, that is a common phrase that almost every adult has heard. Respect authority, respect your elders, respect authority, okay? So we are already programmed to an extent to respect our authority figures. So when your customers come into your store, being an authority figure does not mean that you know everything about the vehicle. Being an authority figure means that you're somebody that is confident in your communication with this person. And even if they ask a question and need information that you have no clue what it is, the way that we even respond to that still can allow us to maintain an authoritative position in their eyes. Somebody asks you a question and needs some information that you don't know. You say, you know what, that's a great question. And I want to make sure I get you the right information. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to jot that down and I'll get that information for you in a second. Is that cool? Now, right there, they asked me a question. I'm unsure of the information. So I want to compliment them, let them know, hey, that's a great question. And I want to make sure I get them the right answer. So I'm going to write that down, and I'll get that information for them here in a little bit. And then I ask them, is that cool? Is that okay? Once they say yes, I'm good to go. The only thing I must do is remember to get it for them. But guess what? I maintained my position of authority, and I finished off with a question to them and maintained my position of control, because he or she who was asking questions is in control. So they asked me a question, I answered it, and I followed it up with a question. Therefore, I maintained my authoritative position. And we have to do that. The moment your customer starts asking you questions, they can take you off the path and you can lose where you're going, and we're all over the place. So when someone asks you a question, one of the ways to maintain authority is learn how to answer a question with a question, or answer it with a statement and follow it up with a question. Let me give you an example. A customer says, hey, they call on the phone. Hey, listen, I want to know what your price is on blah, blah, blah vehicle. Now, you know, most salespeople are trained, don't give a customer a specific price. Don't give a price. Well, also, though, today's customers are very smart. So we try to tell them, hey, don't worry about the price. We need you to come in, blah, blah, blah. The person's getting aggravated because they know what they want. Salesperson's getting aggravated because they know they can't give it, and they want the person to come in. So there's a stalemate. You know who loses? The salesperson. So here's how, if someone, let's just as an example, customer calls in saying that they want a price over the phone, blah, blah, blah. Ring, ring, hey, customer calls in, hey, listen, yeah, I want to get a price on ABC vehicle. Excellent, Mr. Customer. Well, I got them ranging from 22 all the way up to 38,000. So to help us narrow it down and find the one that's going to be best suited for you, I need for you to come on in and take a look at it and get a little bit more information from you to narrow it down, see which one works. So I have an available time this afternoon at 3 p.m. and one tomorrow morning at 9. Which one of these times work best for you to come on in here and take a look at it? Okay, now they asked me, you know, hey, how much is this particular thing? Why not give them a range? Whatever the base model price is, all the way up to the highest. But after we give them that range, hey, listen, to help us narrow it down and find the one that's best suited for you, just need to know when you can come on in and take a look at them. I get a little bit of information from you, and I get you all the information to help you make the decision. I have an available time this afternoon at 2 p.m. and one tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Which one of those work for you? See, we have to learn how to maintain control and maintain authority, all at the same time, not stalemating our customers. When we stalemate customers, then expect we're gonna get their business, that's crazy. That doesn't make any sense. All right. Number 5, liking. We all know that people buy from those who they like and they trust. So making sure you're likable, making sure that you're engaging, making sure you're entertaining, making sure that this customer has fun while you're with them. It's not a crime to smile. It's okay to have fun. Now, don't get in the habit of telling jokes, because you ever had somebody try to tell you a joke and it wasn't really that funny? They bomb. If you want to try to tell a joke, why don't you figure how to tell it as a story? That way, if they don't laugh, guess what? It was a story. But if they do laugh, excellent. That's good too. All right. But be likable. Smile. When you bring a person in, listen, you're you. And now we can train you on how to move units and how to do all this other stuff, but nobody can teach you how to be you. Nobody can teach you how to let your personality shine. That's what you were hired for. I assure you, with the management team that I've seen and that I met, these are intelligent people who really have more of your best interest at heart than it may seem, but have information that they're unable to share with everybody due to the positions that they hold. But I'm here to share with everybody based on the information that I've heard from everybody from an unbiased perspective. It seems like everybody is working for a common goal, and that is for the individuals to be more financially successful, which in turn means the business becomes more financially successful, which in turn upper management and everybody is more successful and happy. So everyone's working for a common objective. All right. And it's all about us recognizing that. But for the salespeople, it's about likability. We're being likable. It's about us having fun. That's why waking up and how we start our day is extremely important. And number 6 is scarcity. Now, let me prove to you how scarcity is a powerful thing. You ever seen those furniture companies and bed mattress companies that seem to have going out of business, buyout sales for 6 months or for the whole year? For the entire year, they've been going out of business and nobody notices. They having this big closeout sale for 6 months. and nobody notices. Why? Because they want to get in there because, they closing out. Let me go ahead and get it. It's just like if you're watching a TV commercial and it's for a new duster mop and you're looking at it and you say, I don't need a duster mop, $34.99. But wait, there's more. If you act right now, you get 2 duster mops. You say, I don't need one. But wait, there's more. If you act now, you get 2 duster mops and we throw in 5 cans of cleaner. You say, I don't know. But wait, there's more. If you act now, we throw in a new Lamborghini. And by that time, you're sitting there saying, oh no. And they say, you got 5 seconds left or this offer will never happen again. And you got people that will tear the phones down calling in. Why? Because they don't want to miss out. Now, what does this mean for us at our dealerships? How can we create scarcity? It means that when we're sitting down talking to our customer and we've asked them certain questions, hey, you looking for a light, medium, or dark color vehicle? Blah, blah, blah. We got the features and whatnot. When we say, hey, listen, based on the information that you shared with me, I believe we have exactly what it is that you're looking for. Now, I want to go give my manager to make sure that I've answered all of your questions and that we got the right vehicle. And I'm going to get it pulled around here, but I want to make sure it's still there. Okay, I know we've got some people asking about it. So I'm going to go check on that and make sure it's there. In the meantime, you need any coffee or water or anything? Boom. Now, what I did, I said to them, hey, listen, I want to go make sure it's still here. We've had a couple people asking about it. So let me go make sure it's available before I get all excited and get you all excited. Why not? The last thing I want them to believe is that you can come any day, anytime, take as long as you want. We always going to have that particular vehicle here. Now, when we always have vehicles there, yes. But that particular one, no, it's only there for a limited time. And doggone it, I mean that because it's true. Now, what's the limited time? Who cares? But it's up to me to create the sense of urgency for now. It's up to us to create that sense of urgency for now. All right? So as we go through, I want you all to pay attention and really think about these 6. Go through them, re-listen to this, look them up, learn see how you can apply them in your process into your daily routine with your customers. All right. So this is one of many of the trainings we're going to be getting this week. We're going to have some other ones. I promise you the others will be shorter, but we got a few questions that are on here. Make sure that we answer the questions that are right here within the program. Make sure that we respond. I will share with you your based on your feedback. You and I will be communicating to do what we need to do to make sure that you hit your goal. So get them over to me. I'll be working with each one of you personally to see what we can do to set that goal, to set that target. All right. Appreciate it. Make sure we have a bang out day, an even better week, and make sure you check your emails. We got some other real good, much shorter stuff coming out this week. All right, y'all. Rock out.